we are still trucking along in this sub battle, and I have some good news, folks. So far this week, the Texans channel here at Chat Sports has gotten more subs than the Chiefs channel. And you know what that means? Obviously, that means the Texans are going to win on Saturday. But we have to keep it up. I need your help. If you're not subscribed already, go down and hit that sub button for daily Texans news and rumors videos. And if maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if I need that, well, help me beat our Chiefs channel. I can't lose to them off the field or on the field this week, and I need your help. Go down and hit that sub button and help me beat the Chiefs this week. On today's show, the latest injury news coming from Texans and Chiefs practices on Thursday, and Stefon Diggs. Are we already looking at a reunion in 2025? We'll break all that down in today's program. First, let's break down the injury news. First up, Marquise Hollywood Brown looks like he's going to be playing on Saturday, activated by the Chiefs. And if you're listening to anything that Chiefs insiders are saying, they're honestly, it sounds like, parents trying to scare their children. Oh, Marquise Hollywood Brown is not getting touched at practice. He looks like he's unguardable at practice. Yeah, it looks like he's on the track to play on Saturday. Been out the past 4 months due to a shoulder injury, a SC joint to be exact, your clavicle. And he signed a 1-year deal this offseason. So a very big rest of the season for Hollywood Brown and playoffs for this young man. As you see his career stats and stats over the last 3 seasons, he has been a reliable speedster for whatever team he has played for. But over the past 3 years as well, the production has kind of dipped down year over year, and those injury bugs, they've gotten to him. 12 games in 2022, 14 games in 2023, and obviously got injured before the start of this season. But adding him to this Chiefs wide receiver room makes things a lot more interesting. You have obviously the former Texan great DeAndre Hopkins as their, pseudo wide receiver one. You have Xavier Worthy, the speedster rookie out of Texas, on the field. And now you're adding another speed guy in Marquise Hollywood Brown. And also kind of sneaking under there, they also have Juju Smith-Schuster on the roster. But what does this mean for this matchup come Saturday? I want to hear from you folks at home. Does the addition of Hollywood Brown into this lineup worry you for this weekend? Give me a yes, give me a no down in the comment section. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break, hey, perfect timing. Scroll on down and give me your answer. Does this worry you for this Saturday? I would be lying if I said no. Obviously, the addition of another speedy, good wide receiver to an already really good Chiefs offense with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins, yes, obviously that worries me a little bit. But on the bright side, this Texans defense, the secondary in particular, has been playing great this year. We've seen everything around Stingley this past week. Kamari Lassiter has been really good. Kalen Bullock has been really good in coverage as well. So hopefully those guys are able to mitigate the Chiefs' weapons on offense. But the real problem is it's not with our defense. The real problem this Saturday is going to be you're going to have to score more than 24 points on offense if you are the Houston Texans. And the Texans have only done that in 5 games this season, scored more than 24 points. The Chiefs are going to get theirs. Regardless if they had Hollywood Brown or not, the Chiefs are going to score points on you. They are a good offense. They are going to move the ball at points. You can stop them. You can bend but don't break. But you have to think the Chiefs are going to get theirs during this game. You have to come out on offense, and you have to put up points. And that leads us into this next subject, talking about John Metchie. He has been out this entire week with a shoulder injury, and he's been acting as the Texans' wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, depending on which week on the depth chart. And the real question is this a concern for the Texans? Because Metchie, I know he had that drop this past week, but he has kind of slowly been coming onto his own a little bit more and more, has been playing really well for this Texans team, getting, nice catches in space when the Texans need him. But you take him out this week, and you're really relying heavily on your top 2 guys, Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Obviously, I have Xavier Hutchinson slotted in as that wide receiver 3 spot, but honestly, it's Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and everybody else. But speaking of everybody else, I do have a prediction for this Saturday. If you're going to tell me one person that's going to step up, one person that can surprise a lot of people on Saturday, This guy right here, Robert Woods. A lot of us wanted the Texans to cut him this offseason, and he is just all reliable, always there when the Texans need him. And I could see him sneakily having a good game on Saturday, having like 5 or 6 catches for 50 or 60 yards. Nothing flashy, no crazy plays, but he's a guy when you need a 6 or 7 yard gain, he is very reliable, has great hands, and is a veteran. So he knows what it takes to beat good teams in the NFL. So look out for Robert Woods to maybe have a good game against the Chiefs. Now coming up, Stefon Diggs. He's been hinting at it. A reunion in 2025. Hey, he also has a little deal with Domino's. Get yourself a free pizza over there. But hey, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Stefon Diggs, and we're talking about Game Time. If you really want to save some real money, go look at our sponsor, Game Time. They're the best place for last-second tickets. And the holidays, it's about bringing people together. And what does that better than live events, sporting events, concerts, comedy shows? It is a place where everybody can come together. Everybody can come and enjoy this one singular thing, especially Texans games. I mean, having NRG packed, having everybody there is going to be hype for Christmas. I mean, I just looked, Pentatonics is going to be doing the national anthem. You have Beyonce at halftime. It's a 3-1 if you get this Ravens-Texans Christmas Day game. So get started today with our friends over at Game Time, and they have a new feature called Game Time Picks, which basically filters out all of the fluff and gives you the best deals on tickets in the app, so you don't have to spend hours searching through thousands of tickets. They got you covered, and the all-in pricing makes sure you're not getting bamboozled, you're not getting tricked. The price you see is the price you get at checkout. So I have a deal for all of our listeners. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time, and it might be game time this offseason for Stefon Diggs coming back to the Houston Texans. He was out for the season with a torn ACL. Really sucked because he kind of went out in the midst of Nico Collins' injury during this season. And if you remember, when the Texans traded for him, they basically restructured his contract to make it only a 1-year deal. So that makes Diggs a free agent this offseason, but he's actually been hinting at the fact that he wants to stay in Houston. So I ask you once again, if it was up to you, if you called the shots down in H-Town, would you re-sign Stefon Diggs? Give me an S for sign, give me a P for pass. Let me know why you think that down in the comments section. I know we're going to have some mixed reactions. A lot of people love Stefon Diggs. A lot of people, they don't care for him. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section. Honestly, I wouldn't mind at all bringing him back for the right price. Seems like him and CJ have a good connection, and while he was in for the Texans, he played pretty well in my opinion. And if you don't believe me that him and CJ have a good connection, why don't you listen to what CJ Stroud had to say about him this week? This is straight from Stroud. He said, "I talk to him every week. I try to encourage him because that's not an easy thing to go through, talking about his rehab. He's in good spirits and rooting us on. I've got so much love for that dude, and hopefully I can play with him again. I think we were just getting started." And if you look at his stats through the first 8 games of this year, I mean, pretty good, right? 47 receptions, 496 yards, 3 touchdowns on the year. That only through 8 games. I mean, you double that, that's almost 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and almost 100 catches over the year. So a really good season for a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, whatever you want to call Stefon Diggs, maybe wide receiver 1B. So him coming back in 2025, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because if you're looking in the draft this season, obviously you can get some young talent. Obviously, there's a lot of good, wide receiving talent coming out of the draft this year. But in my opinion, if I was the Houston Texans, I would much rather sign Stefon Diggs. Maybe if you're going to draft somebody late in the 5th or 6th round if I'm Houston, and focus on your needs more in the first 3 or 4 rounds. I know maybe if there's a wide receiver that, is just falling down draft boards a la a CeeDee Lamb type situation where it's like the value is too amazing, you got to get him. That I understand. But if not, I would much rather the Texans draft O-line, running back, maybe defensive help in the secondary, for replacing some of the safeties, maybe another linebacker, maybe another defensive tackle. I think there's other options that the Texans could look at besides wide receiver in the first 3 to 4 rounds. That's why I think bringing Stefon Diggs, especially if he's down to come back on a team-friendly contract. I mean, coming off a torn ACL, he's on the wrong side of 30. I don't know what the market's going to be like for Diggs, but if the Texans are able to get him at a reasonable price, I'm totally in bringing back Stefon Diggs. Now, quick reminder. Make sure you hit that sub button and make sure you join me this Saturday. Remember, it's not a Sunday. It's a Saturday game for the Houston Texans in Week 16. So you don't want to miss out on all the action. I'll be live here on the channel. So hit that sub button, turn on your notifications, and be there this Saturday as we root on the Houston Texans up against the Kansas City Chiefs.